Hey, sweet. I think we're going. What's up, guys? Jenna Puzio here, founder of Fill Your Books, and I am here with Stephanie Deesk, one of our amazing clients. She's actually a massage therapist and owns a practice, a few locations, actually. And I had to pick her brain because watching your growth has been really fun for me and a joy to watch. So I wanted to be able to feature you for all the amazing people out there. So why don't we start out with who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Perfect. Yes. My name's Stephanie. I'm from Annapolis, Maryland, and I'm a massage therapist, but now I am saying I am a small business owner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go, Stephanie. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been practicing massage for over 10 years now. And when I initially started, I was working for everyone else, trying to find a good fit. And then right before COVID hit, I went out on my own and have not looked back. And it's been an amazing journey so far. Yeah.
Awesome. So, just to give context, it is now May of 2025. Give
Yes.
context to when COVID was
Yeah.
and where we are now. So tell us about the different locations that you own.
Yeah, so we have 5 locations. Kind of the way we have it set up is everything's within driving distance.
Sure.
Honestly, when I started with you guys, I was kind of like chicken with my head cut off. Like I was like, I don't know how to manage this. It's all over the place. And I kept saying like we kind of snowballed to this point, which
Yeah.
I still kind of feel that way. But I grew up in Annapolis. I moved to a location across the bay, the Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah.
Um, and so when I first went out on my own, it was actually in Stevensville or on Kent Island in Maryland. And I started that location, but I still was driving across the bridge all the time. And I figured since I went out on my own in Stevensville, why shouldn't I just do that in Annapolis? And so I kind of early on started with the 2 locations. And then from there, like I said, it just kind of grew organically. So um, the other 3 locations, I was just put in contact with somebody that was looking for someone to rent space. I worked with some people in the past, so it just kind of grew, like I said, organically. But it was scary at first, but now it is definitely becoming more manageable. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So, what was the process like? What was life like and business like when you reached out to us? Were you thinking about marketing or just like how did it come about you coming with Fill Your Books?
So it was kind of a longer process, I would say. So my experience owning a business, my experience, running a massage business was all based on me as a massage therapist. I have no business experience. I've never managed a person. And so last year, and I typically do this where I bite off way more than I can chew, but we did open 3 offices early last year. And
Yeah.
then we were doing fine, everything was going well. And then typically we slow down a little bit in the summer, but for whatever reason, last summer, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is the most stressful thing. I felt like we had the structure in place. So we had great software for scheduling. We have somebody that works the phones. We were doing word of mouth referrals. We were doing events. We were doing all these little things. But I think the big thing that was missing was the marketing. So I had used other people in the past, and it really just left such a bad taste in my mouth. And then for whatever reason, on Instagram, I just started seeing all of your advertising. And I know you primarily started with just salons and stuff like that, but I was like, man, this really just sounds like if it worked, it'd be really great, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of when I reached out because I felt like we had things in place, but there was just something missing, and it was
Right.
that marketing component just to get new clients in. So honestly, it was like the best thing. Like, see, and I even remember like the sales call, and I forget the gentleman that I spoke with, but I like got off the call and I like almost started crying because I was like, this is like everything we had been looking for. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it's funny, over the years, and you're right, we had been primarily salons. We've always had like a couple of massage therapists here and there. Um, and they've always crushed it, which is so awesome. And that's why you're here today because you were crushing it. Get into the, I guess, the numbers, the fun stuff. Tell us about all the new bookings you've had.
Yeah, so we started rolling out our ad with you guys in November, and since then it has, and we've done it where we've turned an ad on, turned it off. Like we are
Yeah.
getting to the point where we're like, okay, we know we're going into a slower time of year, so we can now turn on the ad. So it is just such a comfort. But right now we have, including myself, 5 therapists on staff.
Yeah.
And we are over 80% booked week to week. And like I said, we have the ads that we can turn on. We just rolled out our branding ad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the next step is going to be just doing like the hiring ads. So
Yeah.
um, I think just our numbers, this is like the most consistent we have ever been. It's month to month, we're hitting the same numbers. And then, like I said, if we need to open something up and pull in some new clients, I send a text and they say, can you turn this ad on? And it's so streamlined and simple now.
Yeah, no, and that's great. And it really, I like to describe it like a faucet, right? Once you figure out your flow, let's call it with the faucet analogy, it really
Yeah.
is really like, okay, let's increase it a little bit, let's decrease it a little bit, let's open the floodgates, you know what I mean? So it really just depends on you and where you're at. But originally, it takes time to figure out what is going to be the flow that works best for you. So speaking a little bit onto that, it's not a miracle, right? I know I could get on
Right.
these calls and it kind of seems like that if you watch these, and it almost seems too good to be true. So I like to highlight the section of, hey, it does take a certain mindset in the beginning to get to where you want to be. And I think if you could touch on a little bit of that portion and kind of how you grew past that and kind of how you approached it, I think that would be helpful to other people.
Yeah. So when I first came to you, like I said, we had used other marketing companies. I was using a business coach that I just felt like everybody was not a good fit. The summer
Yeah.
was slow last year. And so financially, like this was one of the scariest commitments I've made because I was like, I know we need it, but we don't have that, income. The sales aren't where they need to be for me to feel comfortable, like going ahead and doing this. But, working with you guys, I mean, like the information that you give, the education, all the online programming, um, it was one of those things where I kept thinking early on, like, I want this now, but I do think the pace at like how you guys have it like paced out. So when the ads finally did turn on, honestly, it was like a couple days and then it was like on and running and going. And like we really didn't need to make too many tweaks.
Hmm.
I really felt like the ad was such a great fit from the start, but I think it was just that back of the house work that went in like the
Yeah.
first couple of weeks when coming on with you. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it's like a miracle and it works right away because you do have to put in the time. And I mean, there is still stuff that I'm going back and listening to the videos now on like the organic marketing and all that, and even like hiring and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like it's a ton of information. It's all great. So yeah, it's just if you put in the work early on, it's just everything just kind of flows going forward. And really, like we had to tweak our ad maybe a week or two ago, but it was really just new content. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. It's not a ton. It
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
take time, but it's not like super overwhelming.
No, and that's great. Realistically, and just to highlight people, the things that we really need from you to have success, I think, good content, consistent content, right? I think that's probably the main conversation that we've had over the last, I think we've been together for like 5, 6 months now. It
Yeah.
is, hey, we need fresh content. Hey, do you think you can get this angle? Hey, do you think you can grab
Yes.
that? Working on scripting, working on your messaging, like what are the types of clients that you're looking to get in, right? So that we can work together and be a team so that we can do what we do best because you know how to do your job best, right?
Yeah.
Like you're confident in your client communication, your content, and your organization, which, can get better over time. I think you'll do just great. And I think that's why you've done so well over this time together. So well that she's continuing to work with us past her original contract, which is very
Yes.
exciting for, I think,
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if someone else were watching this, another massage therapist, salon owner, whoever, would you recommend our services to a friend?
100%. Yes. Yeah. It's been like a lifesaver, a game changer. I tell people I just feel like I just needed someone to kind of hold my hand a little bit. And I think you guys deliver things in such a way that's like, you can do it. Like it's like this kind, like coaching kind of pushing forward. So I would definitely recommend it. It's been such a great benefit for us.
Awesome. Shout yourself out. Where can people go follow you on Instagram?
So our page is Mobile Performance Therapy. We have Instagram and Facebook, and our website is mobileperformancetherapy.com.
Awesome. I appreciate you, Stephanie, doing this and taking the time out, not only for me, but for anybody else who's watching this and thinking about joining. If you are watching this and thinking about joining, please feel free to go to our website, fillyourbooks.com, my Instagram at Jenna Puzio Hair. Always feel free to shoot me a DM. I'm happy to answer any of your questions, and hopefully me and Stephanie can see you on the inside. But I'll see you guys later. Cool. So let me, how do I?